Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Justin here, and today we are on freecodecamp.org. So, the last time we met, we have finished under the JavaScript section this long title, JavaScript Algorithms and Data Structures Projects. So guys, I have made every single video on the intermediate algorithm scripting section and also the next section here. So guys, if you guys are interested in tutorial videos for those, please check on the link below. But today, what we're doing is we're skipping all of this. We're gonna close this tab here. We're gonna go to the coding interview prep 1,000 of hours of challenge. And the one we're gonna be looking at is the algorithm. So I hope to go through all of these with you guys and try to explain these in the clearest way possible. Guys, by the way, I will release these type of algorithm videos almost every single day. So guys, if you like my content, please click like and leave a comment below about the things that you want me to do. And guys, if you like this, please subscribe to my channel. You will constantly find these type of videos, including other videos such as React tutorial videos and such. But let's get on with this question. And the one we are looking at is find the symmetric difference. So let me read the directions first. Now, please be careful when reading this direction. I actually made a mistake. I tried solving this on my own first. I misread the directions, and so I got the wrong answer. Hopefully that won't happen with you. Let's read the direction first. It says, create a function that takes two or more arrays and returns an array of the symmetric difference of the provided arrays. Given two sets, for example, A with this, B with this, the mathematical term symmetric difference of the two sets is a set of elements which are either in the two sets but not both. So A triangle B is C, which is 1, 4. See, 1 is here but not here. 2 is already there, so that doesn't count. 3 is there, so that doesn't count. And 4 is here but not here. So A symmetric difference with B is 1 and 4. For every additional symmetric difference you take, say on the set D 2 to 3, now what we do is we do the result of our A symmetric of B, which is 1, 4, and then we take the symmetric difference of that and D, which is 1, 4 and 2, 3. So what is that? That's actually every single number, 1, 2, 3, 4. The resulting array must contain only unique values, no duplicates. All right, so the mistake I made was I thought, let's look at an example with more than one elements like this one. I thought what we had to do is go through each of the arrays within the array, big array here, and then within the arguments here, and just as long as this one doesn't exist in any of the other array, I thought we could just put it. But it's actually not that. What we gotta do is we gotta find the symmetric difference of the first two, and in the resulting of that array of that, we find the symmetric difference between that and then the next one. So hopefully you guys read the directions correctly, unlike me. Now, what I always say is, please, if you haven't tried this tutorial, please pause the video now, try it on your own, and struggle with it for a bit, because these will get a little bit more challenging. By the way, I'm going to assume that you guys are somewhat comfortable with JavaScript, so I will be using some of the more JavaScript methods that newbies might not be so accustomed to, so be prepared for that. But please pause the video now and try this on your own. All right, if you're still with me here, then I'm going to assume that you have attempted to do this algorithm. So let's try it together. Let me bring this code over to our IDE here. Now, they give us this useless argument again, and let me show you guys why it's useless. Let's console log what the args is. This is the function that we're calling. I'm going to run this code, and we get 1, 2, 3. We only get the first array here. So this only gives you the first argument. So this is kind of useless. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of it like so. I'm gonna make a variable called R of R's. What that means is the array of the arrays, okay? So we're just gonna make an array of all of our arguments. The way that we do that is I'm gonna put a square brackets here and use the arguments keyword that JavaScript comes built in with. You can use that for traditional function notation like this, not arrow notation, but traditional. And we just spread the results of the arguments keyword. Let's see what this turns out to be. I run the code, and now I get what I want. So we have an array of arrays, R of R's, okay? Now, what we want to do is, within our example, we have two arrays. However, if we have more than two arrays, we gotta do that thing where we find a symmetric difference between the first two, and so on. So this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to make a function up here that this function will use, which I will call, and I'm going to use ES6 notation because I like that better. Const, let's say sim of 2, symmetric difference of 2 arrays. So this function will take in 2 arrays like so, and will give us a symmetric difference of the 2. So again, our function that we have down here, the one that they want us to build, will give us a symmetric difference between any n amount of arrays, but this one will just give us a symmetric difference between 2 arrays. And once we define this successfully, we're gonna use it within the function here. Okay, so how should we do this? The first approach that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of brute force this. So I'm not gonna worry about no optimization, no O to the N, and all that stuff. Let's just try to get this code working and give us the proper answer, yeah? So this is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first define an output, const output. This will be my symmetric array, and we will start off as empty. And let's do this. Let's loop through our first array for const, I'm gonna use a for of loop, const L of R1. So element represents all the numbers within the first array. And let's do this. If, first of all, we gotta check, make sure there's no duplicates, right? So if output includes is a method of array, and this is pretty much, it will give me a true or false. If it includes, if the output includes our element, that means it's a duplicate. So we want to say if output includes L, then don't do anything, right? We just want to continue, do nothing. Or better yet, if it doesn't include this, then do something, right? But that's not the only condition. If output does not include element, and what else? R2 does not include element. Remember, it can't appear in the other one, right? So if this is the case, then we want to push it to our output, the element, like so. Hopefully that made sense. All right, so just so that we know we're on the right track. By the way, what do we want to do at the end? Return output. Oh, and I completely had a brain fart now. We also got to do the same thing for array of 2. So let's copy this over, bring it down here, except replace this with R2. And instead of this comparing at R2, now we're going to do it at R1. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's just test this function. I'm going to do, let's call for these two arrays here. Let's console log, not the sim function, but the sim of 2 function that we have just created, like so. I run the code and I get 354. That's the correct answer. Granted, they're not in the order that I want, but whatever, we'll deal with the order at the end. So our function is successful. Now, what we have to do now is this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to first extract within our R of R's. Remember, that has all of our parameters as separated as elements in an array, right? So I'm gonna first take out the first one. So I'm gonna call that an output. So please bear with me for now. R of R's, and I'm gonna take out the first element. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make a for loop here, a traditional for loop, except I'm gonna start at I equals 1 because we already took care of the first array, right? We already have extracted out here. I'm gonna start from I equals 1, go all the way to the end of R of R's, like so. Whoops, I is less than, getting ahead of myself, less than R of R's dot length, and increment it 1 by 1, I plus plus. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna start from the first index of our R of R's, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update our output variable with calling our sim of 2 function. Sim of 2, passing in the original output. Remember, in the first index, it was the first 0th element, and you'll get updated as we continue going, and then just pass in the current iteration array, which is R of R's at index I. So this will constantly update our output, with the updated symmetric difference. So if everything went as planned, let's return the output, and this should give us the answer. Now let's make sure we don't have any console logs anywhere. I'm gonna have a console log here, however, and see if we get the correct answer. Here's a hint, it won't be, but it'll be close. We run the code, we still get 354. So that's correct, but it's not ordered. So a simple way to order it is just to use the sort function on the output. And this just takes in a callback function where it compares 2 elements we'll just call A and B, just elements next to each other, and we just want them sorted ascending. So we just do A minus B. I know this may look kind of confusing. I don't want to kind of spend too much time on how the sorting function works. So please Google array.sort if you're curious about why this was sorted. But let's run the code, and now it is sorted. So let's see if Freecodecamp is satisfied with this solution. Let's bring it over here. We run the test, and we pass. All right, now I want to talk about some optimizations here. It might not be the most optimized solution that I propose right now. And if you have a better solution, please post it down below. I'll be very interested. However, I didn't want to make this video too long, so I will think of one optimization. Now let's think about what the big O notation for this function is. So we gotta be very careful. We have a for loop out here, right? So this is O to the n right here. Now within this for loop, we call another function here, right? And let's go to that function. We have another series of for loops. So already we are dealing with O to the n squared. We had the first iteration here, the first loop here. Now within that, we call another series of for loops here, which makes our entire function O to the n squared. But you gotta also be careful because this built-in includes method is another iteration, as a matter of fact. So we have another iteration here, making the total iteration, the total big O of our function O to the n cubed. So this is not a very optimal function. I mean, it gets the job done, but it is not the most optimal function. So how about we try to convert this solution, which is currently n to the O to the n cubed. Let's try to convert that to the n squared function. Okay. So the way that I'm going to do that is let's go to our sim2. Remember, we have two n squares going on here. One within this for loop here and another one within this one here. I want to try to eliminate the loop within a loop here so that we have we make this a O to the n function. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, how I'm going to do that is this. I'm going to first go through each of the arrays and eliminate the duplicates within itself. So for example, if our first array had 1, 2, 3, 3, I just want that to be 1, 2, 3. And after I do that, I'm going to combine the two arrays into one array and then count each element, how many times each element occurs. So I know that seems like a lot, but I will promise you we will not have a loop within a loop situation here. So let's first eliminate the duplicates. So there's many ways of doing that. I'm just kind of feeling lazy right now. So I'm going to use this set object that I don't know, like a couple years ago it came out in JavaScript. And pretty much that makes an array without duplicates, an array-like object without duplicates. So let's try that. So I'm going to do const set1 is equal to new set, and I'm going to pass in R1. And const set2 is new set of R2. Let's see what the result of these two are when we pass in this one. And I don't like this example, as a matter of fact. Let's get this example here. Console log of that. Maybe we shouldn't console log. Oh, I'm forgetting a parenthesis here. And let's console log here set1 and console log set2. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to call this function here. I'm just going to call console log, no, not console log, just sim2 of these two arrays here. Let's try that. And then, oh, we get an error. Output is not defined. It's because we have this. Let's comment that out. Now we have this. So we have this object-like thing with the duplicates. For example, we had 2 3s here, right? But with the duplicates removed. But these aren't really arrays. It's actually an object that looks like an array. So that's no good to us. So remember what my next step was? We want to combine the two arrays into one array, right? So the way that I'm going to do that is just this. Const combined array. And the way that we do that is we are just going to spread the values inside here. So spread set1 and spread set2, like so. Let's console log what combined array is just so that we are on the right track. I run the code again, and now we get this. So this looks good. Yes, made a unique set of each one, and he has combined them too, right? So we have just this one big array like so. All right, so that's looking pretty good so far. This, I believe, is an O to the N here, another O to the N, but they're not within each other. Here's another O to the N, but again, they're not within each other, meaning it's not an O to the N squared yet. Okay, so now with our combined array, I am going to make an object that keeps count of each element, how many times that they appear in this combined array. So I'm going to say const L object, and it will start out as an empty object, and let's loop through for const element of combined array. Let's loop through our combined array, and let's do this. If the element already exists as a key in the L object, so if L in L object, if that exists, then we will do this. L object at L, just increment it by 1, because we're saying it has one more. Else, we will do L object at L is equal to 1, meaning there's 1 so far. All right, hopefully that made sense. Let's also just console log L object just to make sure that we're on the right track. We get 1 is 2, there's 2, 2, there's 2 of it, 3, there's 1 of it, 4, there's 1 of it, and so on. Okay, so now what we want to do is the only ones we are interested in is the ones in which the key appears only once. Like here, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. So what we gotta do is we have to loop through our L object, all the keys, and the way that we do that is one way is just for const L in L object. That will make this L variable here the keys of L object, and we're gonna do this. If L object, L object at element is triple equals to 1, then we want to do something, right? But what we want to do is we first gotta declare an output here, which we will make an empty array. Then we will say output push element, like so. Hopefully that made sense. Let's just make sure that we are still dealing with O to the N. Do we, within this for loop here, do we have another iteration loop here? No, we don't. Within this for loop, do we have another iteration here? We do not. So this is indeed O to the N function so far. So now just to finish it off, let's return the output. So assuming everything went according to plan, I am going to uncomment out this symmetric original function and erase this function now, and let's see if this still gives us the correct answer. And we do get 3, 4, 5. Now, just out of curiosity, maybe we don't need this sort, because maybe this output already sorts it for us because this object is already ordered. I'm not entirely sure of that, but let me just try doing that. And we still get 3, 4, 5, granted as strings, not as numbers anymore. The reason why that happened is because when things become keys in an object, like what we did here, we are, even though they were numbers, we are converting them to keys. All keys in a JavaScript object are strings. So the way we can rectify that is when we push to our element, we could just do this. We could course that to become a number, like so. Now we run the code, we get 3, 4, 5. I'm still not convinced that this will always be sorted. However, let's see if it passes all the tests or not. Oh, and it does. So I guess when we do const L, right here, const L and L object, we're looping over them in order. I'm still not 100% convinced, but I'm just gonna accept the fact that we have passed every single Freecodecamp test, and this will be our code. So this is O to the N squared. Now guys, if you guys have a better solution than this, then please, please, please let me know in the comment section below. I will be very interested to look at your solution. Anyways, this was Find the Symmetric Difference in Freecodecamp. I hope you guys like this tutorial and the 2 different ways that we have solved this, one with O to the N cubed and one to the O to the N squared. I will post this solution, these two solutions, just in the description below. So if you guys want to see the finished product there, I'll post it in the links below. Otherwise, guys, if you like my content, please click like and subscribe to my channel. You will constantly find algorithm videos, JavaScript algorithm videos, and React tutorial videos, JavaScript tutorial videos, and anything related to coding, you will find it here. So guys, I will see you guys next time. Happy coding.